Hello my lovelies! This is the new camera! Yay! For the next couple weeks it'll be a little bit off and on using this just because I have a couple pre-recorded that are coming up, so they will still be from my laptop's webcam, and hopefully you guys start to like this. I'm trying to get used to just looking straight at the camera and not at the viewfinder, because otherwise all of my videos are going to look like I'm just staring off into space. This week I'm going to do not really a book review, but kind of a I don't understand, maybe I'm just not really into this and this is why I'm not a big fan of it, but maybe somebody can explain it to me. And I'm probably going to get a lot of flack from the YouTube community for this, but here it is anyways. Books. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying things. So I had originally read Looking for Alaska by John Green. Getting used to this into this camera. Woo, over here. And I really enjoyed this book. It made me cry. It made me think, oh my god, this is what they're talking about. John Green is a really good writer. So I read this one and then went and picked up all of the other books I could find. Next, I believe I read Fault in Our Stars. And this is where I'm going to get the flack because the concept is good, but I hated this book. There's just too much quirky things and just trying to make the characters so original, but because you're trying so hard that I'm finding them all so fake and just not real. So I just didn't like it at all. We read it for book club. I was so excited. It was our first book club. We read it and I thought, yeah, this is going to be a great book. You know, not a horrible choice. And I don't know if it's just that I'm not really into, I'm going to say these are contemporary. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm maybe not just that big into contemporary. I definitely read a lot more fantasy, young adult fantasy, that kind of stuff. So I really enjoy those kind of things. And by the time I started reading the next two books, I just kind of realized as well. So then I read An Abundance of Catherines and Paper Towns. They're both cute books, but they're just not really, they just don't really do it for me. And I realized his books, and maybe this is a contemporary book thing, is they're all set up in the same kind of way, and I feel like I just know what's going to happen. And there's a big difference in knowing what's going to happen and still being excited about it, and knowing what's going to happen and be like, well, I'm going to finish this because it's small. And that's how I feel like I've been reading these books. I still have one more of his books that I own that one day I will read. I had started at one point, but again, it just doesn't really do it for me. It's Will Grayson, which he wrote with David Lethethan? Oh yeah, we'll just pretend like I can read names. I haven't read it yet, but I will probably only read it at some point if A, I need a complete brain uselessness, or B, I had just finished reading a behemoth and I just, again, no brain. I'm wondering if anyone else has books that they think, you know, that are such a big book, like, not a big book, but such talked about, such a great writer that you just don't understand. I am going to grab another book that, again, I feel the same way, and maybe you guys can tell me if any of her other books are better, but give me a minute. Alright, so the other book series, I'm wondering if it's overhyped, if the writer gets better, because I know she just started writing, or started coming out, a new series by her. And maybe this series gets a lot better and you guys can tell me that. But the book is The Iron Fae by Julie Kagawa. I just feel like there's a lot too much filler in this book. Like, the characters aren't really that strongly built. And I mean, I can't promise that if I was writing my first books that they would be strongly written characters either, but I bought the volume 1, so it has book 1 and book 2 in it. And so then I felt obligated to read book 2. And it's not that the book isn't beautiful, because that was an easy way to pick it, was that it was very pretty. I really like the rough edge binding method, and it looks beautiful to me, but I just wish there was a bit more something to these books. Like, I really enjoyed the concept of it. I really enjoy the fae aspects, but again, I feel like it was overhyped, and I don't think I would pick up the rest of her books. And I also don't know if I would pick up another series by her. Maybe you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, if she's really expanded, or if it still is just kind of meh. Is there any books you guys have picked up that, I guess this is the overhyped book tag kind of idea. Books that you guys have heard so much about and just they've fallen short for you. 2 other books that I know were like that for me were also, I was trying to think of the last name of the person. The Museum of Extraordinary Things by Hoffman. Am I right? No? I don't know. I have to go grab the book. And the other book would be The Night Circus, where at least with The Night Circus, I found it was so beautifully described and written, and that really kept me going in this story once I got into it. But it just, if you're looking for a book that beautifully describes everything, that book is for you. If you're looking for a story that you feel satisfied with after, don't read that book. The same with the Museum of Extraordinary Things. I thought that book was going to be amazing. It started out so slow, it took me forever to get into, and by the time I got to the end of it, I was just like, well, I really expected it to be better. I felt like the writer just wanted so much to be in the time period that they wrote the story in that they didn't really care if the story had no actual substance. Those are my overhyped books, at least of 2014. I mean, I think I read Looking for Alaska in 2013, but the rest were in 2014. I feel like I could have just done without reading anything past Looking for Alaska. I'm probably going to get a lot of huff for the fact that I just, said Fault in Our Stars sucks. But, I mean, each their own. Not everyone's going to like every single book. It's not a book I would recommend to a lot of people. And I'm sure there's a lot more people who would be like, oh, it was amazing, it made me cry. But I just found the characters cheap. Maybe I'm crazy, you guys can tell me. Tell me if there's any books that you guys are really like, this is overhyped, don't pick it up. Or even, this book was overhyped, but then when I picked it up and started reading it, it was amazing, and I want to hear about that too, because, who doesn't need more great reads? You guys gonna like this video? I hope so. I'm gonna edit it real soon right now. Let me know what you guys are reading and what you guys are really excited for this year, because I feel like I have so many different things happening right now that I can't keep up with watching people's YouTube videos, reading, looking up new books to be reading. I really feel like I am failing in that little regard. And The only really exciting thing that's happened this week is I got my new camera, which we are using. I haven't even finished a book. I'm hoping I'm gonna get out of this. I feel like I'm getting into the book, but slumpy slump. In a week, I'm going to be in Dominican, and it's going to be lovely, and even if I don't get books done there, it will be relaxing. Well, my lovelies, you guys have been great. I will talk to you next week. Put comments down below, and subscribe if you like this video or you like my face, and all of those things. I'm not used to this camera yet. I keep fixing my hair and it's the wrong way, and you guys are gonna be like, she touches her hair too much. But oh well. Okay, love, love. See you guys next week. Maybe.